The name Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu sends chills down the spines of many South Africans. This seemingly ordinary woman from Tembisa orchestrated a horrific series of crimes that shocked the nation. Ndlovu, a former police officer, used her position of trust to manipulate and murder those closest to her. Her motive? Cold, hard cash. Ndlovu's case is significant for several reasons. It exposes the dark underbelly of greed and the lengths some will go to for financial gain. The case also raises questions about the vulnerability of insurance systems and the need for stricter safeguards. Most importantly, Ndlovu's crimes shattered the lives of multiple families. Her victims, many of whom were her own relatives, were robbed of their futures. Their stories are a stark reminder of the devastating impact of violence and betrayal. This is a tale of deceit, manipulation, and murder. It is a case that captivated a nation and continues to spark debate about the depths of human depravity. This is the chilling case of Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu. Between 2012 and 2018, Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu ensnared at least 6 victims. This period marks a dark chapter in South African criminal history. Ndlovu's reign of terror began with the death of her cousin in 2012. She orchestrated the murders of her sister, boyfriend, niece, nephew, and great-nephew. Each death was made to look like an accident. Ndlovu collected hefty insurance payouts, amassing over 1.4 million rand. Authorities eventually connected the dots, realizing Ndlovu was the common denominator. Behind the headlines and court proceedings are the real victims of Ndlovu's crimes, the individuals whose lives were tragically cut short. Each victim had a name, a story, and people who loved them dearly. Witness Madala Homu, Ndlovu's cousin, was the first to fall prey to her scheme in 2012. His death, like those that followed, was designed to look like an accident, allowing Ndlovu to cash in on an insurance policy. Audrey Ndlovu, Rosemary's own sister, met a similar fate. She was found dead under suspicious circumstances, with Ndlovu once again benefiting financially from her demise. The pattern continued with the deaths of Maurice Mabasa, Zanele Ndlovu, Mayane Nguban, and little brilliant Mashego. Each life was taken in a calculated and cold-blooded manner, highlighting the depths of Ndlovu's depravity. These were not just names on an indictment, they were human beings with families who were left devastated by their loss. Their stories serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of greed and the ripple effect of violence. Section 4. Driven by greed, insurance fraud, and the pursuit of profit. At the heart of Nomia Rosemary, Ndlovu's crimes lay a single, powerful motive: greed. Driven by an insatiable desire for financial gain, she transformed herself from a protector into a predator, exploiting the very system she was sworn to uphold. Ndlovu meticulously targeted individuals she could insure, often family members who trusted her implicitly. She then orchestrated their deaths, making each one appear accidental or from natural causes. With each death, Ndlovu would receive a hefty payout from insurance companies, amassing over 1.4 million rand in ill-gotten gains. This macabre business model became her sole focus, her victims mere pawns in her twisted game of death and deception. Ndlovu's case shines a light on the dark side of insurance fraud, a crime that preys on vulnerability and trust. Her actions underscore the need for greater vigilance and stricter measures to prevent such horrific abuses of the system. Section 5. The mask slips, Ndlovu's downfall and capture. For years, Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu operated under a veil of normalcy, her sinister deeds masked by a carefully constructed facade. But even the most cunning of criminals can make mistakes, and for Ndlovu, that mistake would prove to be her downfall. Her elaborate scheme began to unravel when she targeted her sister, Joyce Ndlovu, for a life insurance payout. Unbeknownst to Ndlovu, the hitmen she hired to carry out the murder were actually undercover police officers. The officers, alerted to Ndlovu's murderous intentions, staged a convincing death of Joyce. Convinced her plan was a success, Ndlovu led the police straight to her other victims, confessing to her crimes in the process. Her capture sent shockwaves through South Africa, exposing the true extent of her depravity and the calculated nature of her crimes. Ndlovu's mask of normalcy had finally slipped, revealing the monster lurking beneath. Section 6. Justice served. The trial, conviction, and societal impact. The trial of Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu captivated the nation, revealing horrific details of her crimes. Overwhelming evidence, including her confessions, led to her conviction. In 2021, Ndlovu was found guilty on multiple counts, including 6 murders. She received 6 consecutive life terms. The case exposed insurance system vulnerabilities and sparked national conversations.